and the Celtics miss with 10 seconds left, and the Pacers get the rebound and get fouled. Now the Celtics had a foul to give, so they weren't shooting, so the Pacers had to inbound the ball in the backcourt, and it was Nembhard who made the turnover. But you're up 117, 114 with the ball and 10 seconds left. Get it in bounds. Get it in bounds, you win the game. Because in all likelihood, you're going to make one of the free. In the NBA, you're making one of the free.
You're disappointed if you lose that game at the high school level.
Yeah, that's right. And so you're up 117, 114 with the ball, and you inbound it, turned it over, and then so now the Celtics have the ball. Everyone's playing man, and nobody switched. The McConnell guy I thought could have switched. Now that's not they just weren't switching. But so for people that don't, we all saw it. Jaylen Brown got open in the left corner. Siakam was right there. Chose not to foul. Could not get there fast enough to foul on the catch. Is that a fair point?
Yeah, but I mean, didn't even put his hands up because he was so afraid.
And then Brown double clutch.
Yeah,
so I have heard people with the he should have fouled take, which I sort of agree with. But I mean, it was so close to him just catch and shoot. That's really risky. You just want to be like, hey, take the shot. I got a hand in his face. Yeah. And especially on the double clutch, I was like, there's no way this is going in after that, you know? And, of course, it did.
But you're right, JJ, what you said. If you can foul him, if you're close enough to foul him on the catch, you absolutely foul him. I think Siakam's thinking was what you guys just said. There's enough time now. He's a quick release guy. The last thing you want to do is foul him when he shoots it because he's a good free throw shooter, and you don't want the 4-point play and you lose. So it was clear Siakam got right up in his face and then was careful not to foul, careful not to let Brown lean in and foul. So, and then, of course, the rest is history. He makes the shot and they win it in overtime. But, wow. I mean,
you forgot, the last possession with Halliburton where it was criminally bad. You know, after he dribbled off his leg earlier, he had a terrible end of the game.
I didn't know Irving Walker played for the Pacers.
Yeah, good point, by the way. The Pacers still could have won it in overtime. I guess I was so caught. I guess
at the end of regulation, his possession was so ridiculous.
Yeah, I meant at the end of regulation, before overtime, right? So nonetheless, and again, I didn't care who won. So it's an easy watch for the guy that doesn't care. You hate to be one of the ones that is locked in, right? I don't know if there's any Pacers. Do the Pacers have worldwide any fans?
Not many.
Okay,
Reggie Miller, I believe.
I mean, once Reggie Miller retired, they've got a Reggie Miller, Rick Smith quit. They have no fans. Okay,
not very.
But if there's anybody in the world that roots for the Pacers,
well, you know why I was rooting for the Pacers is because I just wanted it to be a good series.
Right.
And maybe a little longer than 4 or 5 games, and for that to happen, they have to win on the road game 1, make things interesting. So as a neutral, I was like, it's disappointing. But I did get to see a great choke job.
Yeah, I'm pulling for the Pacers.
But just
because I think it'd be hilarious if the Celtics choked again. But in terms that JJ's right, there's nothing more demoralizing. And I kid about Irving Walker. He was a very good collegiate player, but when he was at Florida, that they just as a team had trouble in those moments. And there's nothing more demoralizing than that, than when you don't even get a shot off when you have a chance to win the game. And so, I think it gives you confidence that Indiana can make it a series because they certainly did a lot of great things, particularly when you do keep in mind they spotted him 12 to start the game. So we'll see. But yeah, and even Rick Carlisle took full ownership of it immediately. You don't often see that in coaching where the coach just basically starts the press conference by saying, this is completely on me. I should have called timeout. And he's right. I mean, he owned it. But, yeah, it was just particularly for a veteran coach that's been doing it for so long.
And a good coach.
Good coach, yeah. But just inexplicably mishandled the end there.
So the Celtics win. And again, to me, the storyline – again, if I was more of an NBA guy, to JJ's point, you had what could have been a heck of a series. Did the Celtics now escape the one game they had to escape? They're a game or two away from having Porzingis back. Did the opportunity for an upset fade? Is it gone now because they couldn't pull off the first one? Or is that a signal that it's going to be a good game because they played them even?
I hope.
Yeah. I think the fact that the Pacers had 7 players in double figures gives them a lot of good momentum heading into the rest of this series that, look, we can put up good numbers against these guys. We've got a lot of things that are working in game one that we can carry over. So I think you have to be encouraged if you're a Pacers fan. But boy, it stings that you absolutely had a chance to steal game one and couldn't do it.
Yeah. So what a finish. So and again, game one of the West tonight. So
I'll give Tatum credit too, because he takes a lot of, and deservedly so, I'm sure. I don't follow it, but it seems like from afar, Jason Tatum takes a lot of criticism for not being overly clutch. And in overtime, he came up when it looked dicey.
Yeah, two huge.
He had two big buckets. One that was a nifty little move, going to the goal, and then he had a three where he had to fake Nebhart out, and then
that ended it. And then, that made it like a 4-point game.
That was the dagger. So yeah, credit to him. But yeah, I think if you're Indiana, you try and get the next one and get it back to Indianapolis.
Yeah, and what tends to happen too is, if a guy has not played well, he missed a lot of shots, but if a guy hadn't played well and you give his team new life that they shouldn't have had, which is what happened, well, that's when they come alive. And that's what kind of happened last night. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Tonight, you got Mavs and T-Wolves, 8:30 tip, JJ. You'll be locked in.
Love it. Right? Can't wait. I think it's probably, the T-Wolves to win. I think that last series was between the two best teams in the West. But, Luka's Luka. And Kyrie is the clutchest guy in the NBA sometimes, so you can never count them out. It's going to be a great series, hopefully.
Stretch, we have it every night. That's tonight, 8:30. Tomorrow night at 8. Tonight it's the TNT game. And then tomorrow it is an ESPN game. So a lot of NBA. We'll get to that coming up in a bit as well. I got some Jags talk coming up, some hardball talk coming up, Major League Baseball talk. I got a couple of fun things to do. That comes up in just a bit as well. I got a thought about the Jaden Rashad thing I'm going to get to on the program today also. Quick college baseball note. Gators in or out?
I think they should be out, but it seems like their camp believes that they're in.
Everybody thinks they're in. I don't. I think they're out.
I don't know. Again, I don't follow it, and I understand their argument of they've got a ton of great wins.
Right.
They also have a lot of bad losses.
Right. They're 15-9 in the non-conference.
Right. So, I think that, again, I only can take it off of if it was a basketball team trying to get into March Madness, how would I view this resume? And I don't like it when the 18 and 15 team gets in, even if the 18 and 15 team has a pretty good RPI, has a number of quad 1 wins. But look, if you've taken on several quad 3, quad 4 losses, then to me that if you're barely over 500, I just don't think you deserve a shot at the national title.
I see. I think that too. They've lost to, and I love my JU Dolphins and my UNF Ospreys, but the reality is they've lost to JU, USF, Stetson, St. John's, and St. Mary's. There isn't a little-known NCAA rule that if you lose to two Saints, you're out.
You're out.
I don't know if you knew that or not. It's NBA. It's
if
NCAA
you allow
rule
them to come
13,
marching in, you're out.
You lost to two Saints. You got beat by St. John's and St. Mary's in like the same season. Can't lose to two Saints.
Was Mullen playing for?
You cannot lose to two Saints. So, but they lost to JU, USF, Stetson, St. John's, and St. Mary's. I love my Gators, and I do think the Gators are better than some of the teams that are going to get into this 64-team field. I think we all know that. But someone in that room is going to stand up and say, wait a minute. He's going to point out those losses. He's going to point out 15-9. He's going to point out the fact that FSU wore them out 3 times and that they're 28-27. It's hard for me to argue that.
It's great to play the number 1 schedule in the country, the hardest schedule in the country. But if you're barely over 500, I think that loses its weight. It's unfair to teams that only lost 9 or 10 games all year. In my opinion, again, it seems like the Florida. It seems like the belief is Florida expects to be in. And not just, I'm not talking about the players and coaches. The reporters that cover Florida, the reporters that are very in tune with how the sport works, they believe Florida is going to get in. And I understand the converse of, well, if you had to pick 64 teams, wouldn't you think Florida is? Maybe, but I have to go off a resume. I can't go off of their talent and their pedigree and the logo. I mean, you can't do that. You have to go off of the resume that they have produced. And Florida has produced, in my opinion, too lackluster a resume to deserve a spot.
Yeah, and so I'd be surprised. I'll be surprised if they get in. Again, people in the know seem to think they're in. People in the know seem to think they're in. So
you don't think they should be?
I don't. I wouldn't put them in. I would not put them in. Again, they're 28 and 27, and again, I think at some point you have to earn your way in, and yeah, I wouldn't put them in.
Well, like let's look at it.
And by the way, someone's going to say, well, I'm trying to be a politically correct Gator, and the reason you're saying that, Frank, is you don't want to look like a homer. No, it's really not. It's not. It's my opinion. I think a 28 and 27 team probably shouldn't be in the tournament.
Well, look, let's just – I mean, if Florida football, with this schedule that some believe is arguably the hardest in college football history, if Florida goes – and I get it, there's only 12 teams in this. There's 60 plus in the baseball. But if Florida goes 7-5, even 8-4, they don't have an argument to be in the top 12. Obviously, if they won 8 games, they would have some very impressive wins. But you can't lose a third of your games and compete for the national title. And that's what, to me, it's the same parallel here for the baseball team. So, I mean, again, I don't care either way, but to me, the resume seems like they should not be in.
Yeah, you made the comparison yesterday, which was a good one, to an 18 and 14 basketball team. No matter how tough your schedule is, if you're an 18 and 14 basketball team that finished under 500 in your league, you're not it. You know, no matter what your RPI is, no matter how good your schedule is, no matter how many future NBA players you have, you're not in. I wonder if Jack Caglione's presence, at some point, when all the metrics are through and all the numbers are through, and you've pounded numbers till the end, and that team and that committee's in that room, at the end of the day, when you've done all that, I wonder if the fact, Hays, that one more chance to watch Jack Caglione gets them in. I'm not. It shouldn't work that way, but there's human beings that are making these votes.
Right, and again, that's probably Florida's best hope is the logo carries them and the star power carries them to a 3 seed somewhere. But I don't think it should, and it'll be interesting to see how it turns out. The other part of this too is I could somewhat understand it if Florida had 2 or 3 injuries for most of their year, but now they were healthy, and you could somewhat dismiss the poor midweek performance. But they've been pretty healthy. They certainly aren't they certainly didn't just get a couple guys back that they didn't have. Right. So they've been relatively healthy. So, if there was an injury variable there, maybe I could give them a little bit more of the benefit of the doubt. But, that doesn't exist. So, yeah, it's just I think they probably get in. But I think they will be lucky if they hear their name called.
Yeah, and again, people that follow it way closer than I do think that they are in. There's people that think they are in. So we'll see what winds up happening. I got a college football thought. You know what I got for you, Hays? I wouldn't give this just to anybody. You know what I got for you that I planned this just for you?
What you got? I am ready.
Well, I hope you're ready because it's really good stuff. The 2024 Fox College Football Friday night schedule.
Oh, wow.
Oh, are you kidding me?
I hope Rutgers is on that thing.
Let me week 3.
Whoa.
Week 3.
I have to wait 3 weeks? I guess that's okay.
Week 3. Let me just tell you this.
Write that
Let me just tell you this. Fridays.
No plans.
Fridays.
Tell the kids to kick rocks.
Right.
Fridays.
Drop the kids off somewhere.
Fridays. That's week 3, the 27th of September. The first game will be in week 2 or week 3, whatever they call it, September 13th. Are you ready for this? Friday at 8 o'clock. I know you and your lovely wife, Jean, normally go to dinner, have a swanky dinner on Friday nights.
Not that night.
Not this night. Because Arizona is headed to K-State.
Wow.
You give me Wildcats versus Wildcats on a Friday night? Are you kidding me?
Now, is Arizona, what conference are they in?
This is a Big 12 game.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if they were in the ACC.
There's 68 teams in the Big 12. You have to understand. So every game's a conference game. So how about that? How about week 2, Illinois at Nebraska? Kidding me?
That's big right there.
Week 3, Washington at Rutgers. The best part was you asked for Rutgers in week 3. That's the beauty. Northwestern makes an appearance in week 5. Purdue makes an appearance in week 6.
Thank God.
Because you asked for it. Rutgers comes back in week 7. They travel to Rutgers travels to. Let me tell you a conference matchup, okay? I mean, you talk about. Let me tell you the best conference matchup. My favorite conference matchups are all time. Can I tell you what they are? Florida, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think that's a great one.
That's a good one.
Michigan, Ohio State.
Mm-hmm. Big.
And Rutgers at USC. Okay, because that's what I got for you. There's your Big Ten showdown right there. When the Scarlet Knights go to Tinseltown,
right? Forget
about it.
The college football's carbon footprint this year and in years moving forward, it's going to be kind of large.
I mean, who at Fox? What boss at Fox? Hey, let's get everybody in here. Let's put the whiteboard up. Someone put up the whiteboard. Jimmy, put the whiteboard up there. What games you want? I don't know what games you want. But on October 25th, I got to have Rutgers USC. I mean, who said that?
Friday night games do usually suck.
From a logistical standpoint, I am intrigued by this, not to get us too far in the weeds, but if Rutgers doesn't have a bye week prior to that game, do you fly out on a Wednesday to play that? Wednesday to get used to the change, and then a walk through Thursday, play the game Friday? So are you basically are you game Saturday, off Sunday, practice Monday, practice Tuesday, fly Wednesday?
I got to believe you are. I got to
Thank God they're not going to class.
Yeah,
right.
Good point. I got to believe if you're one of these teams that are now in one of these cross-country conferences that never before had been a cross-country conference, you're going to have to do that, right? I mean, I think
so.
Jet lag's real for grown-ups. I mean, how many of the kids on the Rutgers team? I don't think Rutgers is bringing them in from Dallas and L.A., okay, and Seattle, okay?
Right.
I'm guessing most of the Rutgers players are from Monmouth, New Jersey. So how many of the Rutgers players have never been on a 4-hour flight?
I would think
a high percentage.
High percentage.
Yeah, so I think you'd have to do that. It's interesting.
Yeah, we better not be getting like a Big Ten week about saving the environment.
Yeah,
you know, where every graphic on the Big Ten is going to be like green.
Right.
Meanwhile, we're seeing a team from Piscataway fly to Los Angeles and back.
Rutgers at USC. All right, so they got college.
Well, I appreciate you helping me shape my weekends.
And listen. And if I love Jean, I love your wife, I know her well. If she gets a little pissy because you just can't pull yourself away, tell her, call me.
I will.
I got her number.
I appreciate it.
And look, anything I can do to help.
I may have to get a hotel room for Rutgers at USC.
Rutgers USC. The Rutgers' second appearance on the Friday night. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about college football coming up a little bit later on. Some of the NBA stuff. I do have an opinion about the Jaden Rashada stuff that I'll get to a little bit later on in the program. Jaguars. I never got to this yesterday. We're going to start the program with this right after our first break. Now that the Hays in the barn, Hays in terms of this is the team they're going to play with. Yeah, there could be a move. There could be one more move before camp, but this is their team. What we saw last week, we'll get to see again next week, or we saw this week and see again next week. That's kind of their team. Yes, Josh Allen wasn't there and Gabe Davis wasn't there. They're important guys that will be. So what's missing? And again, I don't mean because we noticed something in our one practice we got to see. I mean, just what could be missing now. I got a couple other things that I saw at practice that I forgot to get to, so I'm going to write those down here as well. But what could be missing? Is it just the obvious, the one starting corner? Ronald Darby is going to run with the ones for a while. Is it something obvious? A lot of questions I've got, a lot of intrigue about the Jaguars. So I'm going to start the show with a little Jaguar talk. I'm going to get to some baseball talk coming up. I got a thought about baseball. Let me give you a stat, by the way, because this isn't one of the topics. But, JJ, I don't know if you saw. Did you see this stat about Luis Ariz, the former Marlin who they traded to the Padres?
No, but I love that guy.
Okay, they traded him.
He's very old school.
Correct. They traded him. They traded him to the
Padres.
To the Padres because, of course, they did. Luis Ariz has 2,389 career plate appearances. Okay, he's been to the plate 2,400 times. You know how many times he's been called out on strikes?
19.
1.
Wow.
It's one of the most astounding stats I've ever seen.
Wow.
If someone would have read that to me,
that's Tony Gwynn-esque.
It really, and
he never walks either. He just kind of like always makes contact.
Yeah, and it's very Tony Gwynn-esque. And if someone would have asked me that question, I'd have said what you said. I said, okay, he's asking the question. It must be really low, 23.
Right.
It's one.
Wow.
JJ, he's called out on strikes once in his career.
Know that. That's a career stat.
Yeah.
Jesus.
23.89.
And on that one,
he didn't just get to the
bee
league.
flew in his eye and stung him.
Yeah, well, but
it was probably a bad call.
I mean, did he?
Really.
He was never up there with Angel Hernandez when one was 8 feet out.
Exactly.
And one was 8 feet
that
outside.
Happens to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it never happened. I mean, one time.
Yeah.
It's amazing. One time in his career. So we got some baseball coming up in a bit. Let's start with some Jaguar talk. Got a lot to do. Glad you're with us on a Ricketts Electric Wednesday. Frangie Carlyon, JJ LaSelva with you. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Share your life with 1010XL. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Oh, wait. I'm going to take a picture and post it on Facebook. What? Hashtag
1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. When it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Why Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned? I'll tell you why. Over 600 vehicles in stock. One location. Check this out. More than 275 SUVs, over 200 cars, over 110 pickups. Arlington Pre-Owned even has 125 vehicles under $18,000. Plus, you get 60 days to love your purchase or exchange it, and Arlington's Credit for Everyone program. Oh, and did I mention? The Summer Starts Here sales event is going on right now, even on used. Shop 10939 at Knights Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
I'm sure many of you guys feel like you wish you could be as fit as you were in your 20s. The dad bod is really tough to shed. I'm Dr. Lance Snyder, and I did something about it through Dr. Rappaport at the Jax Aesthetic Center. I'm active, I played college sports, and I still work out a few times a week. Nothing worked. As a doctor and a dad, I want to be around as long as possible and feel good about my body. Dr. Rappaport put together a personalized treatment plan that worked. It was easy for me to make appointments, get to those appointments, and get back to work in time. I also recommend the Emsella chair for any urinary issues or ED. Dr. Rappaport has state-of-the-art treatment options for men. And the M-Sculpt Neo is an abs blast. 20,000 crunches in 30 minutes. Give yourself your own gift this Father's Day at the Jax Aesthetic Center. Build muscle and lose fat. Call or text today, 904-808-2455. That's 904-808-2455. You won't be sorry.
This is Hays Carlyon for Harold and Harold. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harold and Harold. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Get this. Joey and me were supposed to go to this concert next week, right? But then something terrible happened. Joey was driving without a seatbelt. But he didn't wreck. No, he got pulled over. Now Joey has to pay for a seatbelt ticket instead of a concert ticket, and I have to go by myself. How lame is that? So Joey, if you're out there, you're an idiot. Wear your seatbelt or you'll get a ticket.
All across the country, cops are cracking down. Click it or ticket, day and night.
Funded by the Florida Department of Transportation.
New faces on the field for the first time in team.
There are no shortcuts, man.
OTA coverage is brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Up, quick feet!
On 1010XL.
International soccer returns. For your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see the Wolves versus West Ham compete for the Stateside Cup July 27th. Use the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures and text soccer to 641-1010.
When persistent plumbing problems leave you feeling flushed, don't panic. Call Roland Reich. They quote all pricing in advance, so your only surprise is how quickly they'll solve your issue. Roland Reese Plumbing, plumbingjacksonville.com.
Mia here with a shout out to all property owners looking to spruce up your spaces for the spring. Window Gang's exterior cleaning services will remove stubborn stains, restore windows to a crystal clear shine, and ensure your gutters flow freely. Whether you own a home or business, Window Gang will transform your outdoor space. Call 262-7300 for a free estimate. Don't wait. Let Window Gang bring the sparkle back to your property today. That's 262-7300.
I-9 Sports is fired up for their summer flag football tournament series, so make sure your team is part of the action. It's all happening in June and July at Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows at their brand new turf facility. Register as a team and join the fun at i9sports.com.
In sports, we love to see just who the top dog is. Even better news now, Underdog Fantasy is back. Perhaps it's you. They're back with Champions. Champions is a player versus player fantasy game where you have the opportunity to win up to 100 times in one night by beating out the pack. And you do it real simple. Real simple. Higher or lower. It's all you got to do. There's a statistical projection. You either go higher or you go lower. You add up your picks and you count your cash. It can be as simple as coin flip, higher or lower, or you can use all the resources they have on a terrific app. I got on the app this week, played around with it, learned it inside and out. Yeah, so my contests haven't gone so great yet. But hey, that's why there's more season. So, discover what Underdog Champions is all about and go right now to your app store and download the Underdog Fantasy app today. Use promo code PROSSER and you'll get your player special plus a deposit offer. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code PROSSER.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Ricketts Electric Wednesday on The Frangie Show. Ricketts Electric, the power connection you can trust.
So here's what's happening. You've already got Hotel California, Born to Run.
Wow. This is the most competitive division, I think.
This is one heck of a bracket.
Yeah, I don't even, okay. I mean, the fourth song could be, something by Winger, and I still think this will be the toughest bracket.
How about this bracket? Hotel California, Born to Run, and this. I tell you, this will be a good vote.
It will be.
We have one more we'll add to it tomorrow. Then JJ will throw out the poll tomorrow after we add Team 4. I like this one.
I do too. They did a version of this Aerosmith in like the 90s with an orchestra behind them.
Oh, but that was
great. It was unbelievable.
This is a great song.
It is a great song. Yeah. I wonder if this song will get hurt at all. Like Piano Man, I think got hurt because it's not like a fast, upbeat song.
Yeah.
So it'll be curious to see if Aerosmith's slow, methodical offense will bog down.
Okay, you know what we're doing? We're picking the, just so you know, to update everybody, we are picking the best rock anthems of all time. The first bracket was Piano Man, Don't Stop Believing, Stairway to Heaven, Living on a Prayer. Stairway to Heaven, a narrow win over Don't Stop Believing.
Buzzer beater.
So Stairway to Heaven moves on. Bracket number 2, Bohemian Rhapsody, More Than a Feeling, Satisfaction, Rock and Roll All Night. Bohemian Rhapsody ran and hid. They blew away the field. So Stairway to Heaven and Bohemian Rhapsody have both moved on. So far in bracket 3, Hotel California, Born to Run, Dream On. Pretty good bracket. We'll have a fourth team to add.
We built this city.
So
we just had to get there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is such a good song. Such a good song. The Jaguars, so we've seen them on the field. I'll go first. Cornerback's the obvious one. I think Ronald Darby might be more competent than you do, but I hear you.
I'm worried.
He's not the guy the teams all over the league wish was their starting corner. But I think he may be okay. Jarian Jones, I think, could win that job. I'm very interested in how the linebacker thing will play out. Foye Oluokun has been their inside linebacker in a 3-4. He now becomes their, no doubt, Mike linebacker in a 4-3. And again, we're not going to tell you how everybody lined up at the practice we got to saw because we're not supposed to. You'll see that soon enough when everybody goes to camp. But for the here and now, I'm curious Will Devin Lloyd go outside and line up on the line of scrimmage like he did a lot at Utah, and Chad Muma becomes the weak side linebacker, and it is Aluaka and Muma and then Lloyd? Will Ventrell Miller have a chance to beat out Muma? Will Ventrell Miller be the backup Mike linebacker? Will Lloyd stay inside and Muma play over there? I think I'm not saying this is one of the holes because I like the pieces, but I'm very intrigued, Hays, with how that one plays out. One of the most interesting parts of their future alignment to me.
I think it's going to be a fascinating battle to see what happens between Muma and Miller, and because I like both of them. I mean, I think Chad Muma has a chance to still be good. Again, this is you have 4 years. That's what a rookie contract is, and he's now going into year 3. He still has a lot of time to really become an impactful player here. So I think Muma wins the job, but if Ventrell Miller can stay healthy, I think it's going to be a very healthy battle. Sometimes you have battles where it's the lesser of two evils. That was basically the Jaguars from 2013 through 2016 is, well, what's the lesser of two evils? Okay, well, then let's go with that guy. This, I think, is a battle of what I believe is going to be strength, even though Muma is relatively inexperienced and Ventrell Miller is a rookie, basically, because he didn't do anything last year because of the foot injury. So I think one of those two is going to solve the problem. And I think it's going to be Muma, but that's a battle I'm excited about.
Yeah, if Ventrell Miller can be a healthy player, I'm very interested to see what he is. Something else I noticed I didn't say the other day, I just didn't get to it. Did you watch Brenton Strange at all? Did he?
A little. I noticed more his physical form, how his kind of frame and how he just looked, more so than anything in terms of drills.
Okay.
But he is somebody that I've got a very close eye on.
Nothing's worse than when sports talk guys make up words that aren't even close to being words, because that shows that they're just big dummies. I wear that proudly. But he was more pass catcher-ish. You with me? Mm-hmm. He looked a little more twitchy. Last year he never felt like a factor as a pass catcher. Whether he was a blocker, he was a high draft pick. This is a guy that needs to be a pass catcher. And so I mean, we can't forget how high he was picked, and I think he's a pretty good player. He looked like Brenton Strange. It was one day. It was one day. Okay, so who knows? And it's almost comical to try and make determinations or comments or assessments after you see something for one time. But he looked more like a tight end that could be involved in the passing game to me. I mean that very sincerely. I saw him one time make a little move and catch one out in his hands, which I don't think I saw the whole time last year in camp. So it caused me to watch him a few more times, and I thought he looked different to me.
Well, again, we've talked a lot about this. Tight ends normally need time. You do occasionally have the Dalton Kincaid or Laporta, but for the most part, these guys traditionally, even like if you look at Travis Kelce and his career arc, it takes time at the tight end position. And the other thing too, especially when you have a guy like Evan Ingram there, I mean, you're just not going to get that many chances. I will say the thing that stood out to me Monday about Brenton is obviously you're right. They drafted him in the second round, so you would never draft a Chris Manhertz type tight end in the second round, somebody who's purely a blocker, who's going to give you very little in the passing game. So they obviously believe that he can catch a lot of passes and be like a Dallas Goedert, a tight end that Doug had in Philly. And so in looking at Brenton Strange, he's I think considerably bigger than Ingram, but he's not, he's not a lumberer. He's not the extra offensive tackle. So I think he's got a good chance, and I'm not optimistic about everything, but I do think with Brenton Strange, it's way too early, in my opinion, to chalk that one up to he's not going to work out. I think he's in a great scheme. I think he's got the right environment. He just has a great player ahead of him in Evan. And so you wonder about, again, what kind of responsibility he's going to have if Evan Ingram is healthy all season. But again, these are 4-year deals. This is year 2. So wait and see what Brenton Strange is going to be in year 3 and year 4. We're excited about this coming season, and hopefully he will give them something this year. But you don't want it to be 50 catches, because then that means something's happened to Evan Ingram.
Right.
So
well, that's right.
You want Brenton Strange to continue to be a slow build, because you obviously want Evan Ingram to go out and put up the great numbers that he's put up.
Yeah, no question, and I agree with that. So, and again, I'm not saying this mammoth change, but I think he factors in.
I'm encouraged with Brenton Strange.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see. Doug Peterson loves the 2 tight end sets, particularly when he's got 2 that are good. So I'll be very interested to see how that plays out. The other thing I'm interested in is, what do they do at edge beyond Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker? Travis Gibson caught my attention. I keep forgetting he's on the team. But he's 6'4", 260. He's an edge-looking guy. And so is he good enough, Hays, that when they go nickel, that Trayvon Walker moves inside and Josh Allen and Gibson are outside, and is Trayvon Walker inside with whoever, Roy Robertson Harris, Armstead, Devon, whoever? Because if that's the case, if he can impact the team, is an edge that can play opposite Josh Allen and send Trayvon Walker inside in passing situations, well, that would be huge for them.
It would be enormous. He had 7 sacks in the 2021 season when he was with Chicago, and then just has not been able to find that production since. He had 3 sacks the following year, and then he only had 1 in his lone season with the Titans last season. So I think I'd feel more comfortable about him as the 4th. And I don't know that they have an in-house solution that can really push him. So I think he is the 3 here. That's the spot to me where if there was a guy out there, a free agent, it's going to be hard to consummate a trade for an edge player. There just doesn't seem to be anybody out there that's in the same situation as some of these corners, like a Lattimore in New Orleans, where the team might be ready to get out from under the contract. But if there's a free agent, I think it would make sense. Certainly the Jaguars have the cap space. We've talked about it. It's surprising how much room they have, because they certainly have been all in. But if you told me that a team has got top 3 cap space right now, which the Jaguars do, they're 3rd in the league with $33 million in cap space according to SpotRack.com. Well, that would tell me, well, this team isn't a contender. This team is more in a rebuild because they're protecting this cap space. But we know that's not the case here. We know they believe that they're competing for the Lombardi Trophy. So obviously you have the space. I'd love to see a 1-year, $10 million deal for one of the free agents that is out there. I mean, again, Ngakoue is a player that we've talked about a lot last year, and they didn't do it. If the bridge can be salvaged, or if it's been repaired from when he was here, what feels like a lifetime ago, I think he'd be an intriguing player to look at, assuming, again, he is ready to accept that he is a closer. He does not defend the run at all, so you have to get Ngakoue to a place where he accepts that he's only going to play 15, 20 snaps a game, and those are all going to come when it's obvious the opponent is throwing the ball. So I would like to see a move there to supplement that. I think it's the biggest weakness on the roster, but I will give them credit. The biggest weakness on the roster is a reserve spot.
All right, so and the other spot is the cornerback thing. I'm very intrigued to see what they do. The secondary overall. Is Darnell Savage the nickel? And Antonio Johnson's the starting safety, which is what they implied.
That's what they're hoping.
Yeah, that's what they hope. So Johnson's safety, Savage is the nickel. There's Darby Stout outside. As Jarian Jones beat him out. So the 3 areas I'll watch to see how they align. Tight end, and do they use Strange? What happens with that whole? I say 3, more than 3. That whole linebacker rotation thing. Now that it's a 4-3, not a 3-4, do they have another edge to maybe kick Trayvon inside? What happens in the quarterback spot? We'll take a break. Hays has headlines on the other side. It's 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Wonder what Rick Ballou would be doing if he wasn't on 1010XL?
Doing my job to the best of my ability on a daily basis.
Rick Ballou.
I work here.
Evenings.
I carry a badge.
On 1010XL.
This is Hays Carlyon for Kingfish Pest Control. Are mosquitoes turning your outdoor fun into a full contact sport? It's time to call in Kingfish Pest Control. I can tell you from my own experience, they are the MVPs of mosquito elimination. Call Kingfish Pest Control today and get an unbeatable 50% off your first treatment. That's right, sign up for a full season of lockdown coverage and get 50% off your first treatment. Don't let mosquitoes steal your home field advantage. That's Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
The saying goes, the grass is greener on the other side. Well, that is actually true if your neighbor installed artificial turf. Lauren Brooks here from my friends at Sunshine Turf, a family-owned local company that will take your backyard dreams and turn them into a reality. Caleb can design anything from putting greens to pet runs, and if you have a pool, you'll definitely love maintenance-free turf around it. Visit sunshineturf.info to get a free quote today from Sunshine Turf. That's sunshineturf.info.
Hi, I'm David Lane, your average everyday Joe. I'm 5 months out of my back surgery with Southeast Orthopedic, and I'm doing great. Thanks to Dr. Herford and his staff at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. Playing in the NFL can put a lot of wear and tear on your body, especially your knees. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has kept me mobile and ready to tackle every day.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Time for a spring septic clean? For just $525, Duck Rooter will pump out your septic tank, clean your outlet filter, plus send a plumber to your home to provide drain cleaning to your main sewer line. 904-862-6769. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Get grilling this Memorial Day weekend with Southern Steer. Buy a combo pack and snag 1 pound of ground beef and 1 pound of sausage for free. Specials listed online run this week from Wednesday to Monday.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Mia here, and we can't wait to meet you. Join Helmets and Heels this Friday at Southern Steer Butcher. Purchase any combo pack and get a pound of ground beef and sausage each for free. Noon to 2 Friday with Helmets and Heels at Southern Steer Butcher in Ortega.
Hacker here with an update. I'm now down 65 pounds in less than 3 months with Awaken 180. It's been incredible. You've seen it on social media. If not, take a look. I'm the guy with 65 less pounds around his midsection. Since I started, I had to get lower dose medication for both blood pressure and cholesterol. That meant a trip to the pharmacy. When I walked in, the pharmacist did a double take, the same way my doctor did. Didn't even recognize me. It's a pretty cool feeling, knowing I'm transforming into the new me. If I can do Awaken 180 and succeed, trust me, so can you. Imagine dropping pounds while still enjoying your favorite foods. With Awaken 180, you get to lose weight without giving up what you love. Are you ready to make the call to Awaken 180? Call right now, 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800. Or do what I did and check them out at Awaken180weightloss.com. Start changing your life today with Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
15,000 workers. I'm Brian Rose from Remedy Staffing. We survey 15,000 blue-collar workers each year to better understand what drives quality and dependability in our workforce. The survey shows when looking for a new job, the initial pay rate, job security, and safety while working are the most important factors for hourly workers. If you're an employer and would like to learn more about the voice of the blue-collar worker, please call us at 904-528-1933.
Come on, admit it. Almost everyone you know seems to be playing pickleball now, right? So whether you just want to learn how to play or you're ready to show off your elite pickleball skills, the Y is the place for you. Visit our brand new McGuire Family Pickleball Center at the Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach. 5 top quality outdoor courts and 3 amazing indoor courts where you can learn about dinks, dill ball, falafel, the kitchen, and more pickleball slang at the Y.
What new sport is being introduced at this year's Summer Olympics in Paris? The answer coming up.
When you call Southern Oak and file a claim, you'll be handled by our hand-picked vendors who will analyze any roof, storm, or water damage. It'll save money for you.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Break dancing will be contested for the first time at this year's Olympics. Climbing, skateboarding, and surfing will return to the lineup again.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about being selfless. So often when we do things for others, we can want people to see what we're doing and to acknowledge it. And yes, it's good to know that people appreciate us, but true service doesn't look for recognition. You see, when we go out and do selfless acts, God tells us that we may not get an earthly reward, but we're always going to get a heavenly reward.
To hear more inspirational messages by Reverend Dr. Nicholas Lowe, please visit our website at stjohnthedivine.com.
Golf is as popular as it's ever been, and Hidden Hills welcomes all who love this game as much as we do. You'll surely enjoy our Arnold Palmer design, which is nestled in one of the highest elevations in North Florida. Book your tee time today, and you'll be glad you did.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round.
It's Hays' Headlines, presented by Harrell and Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hays Carlyon.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank Frangie, JJ LaSelva. I am Hays Carlyon. Want to thank our friends at Harrell and Harrell. Give them a call at 251-1111. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're hurt or a loved one, that is who you need to call. Holt is such a great dude, and you couldn't be in better hands. So again, 251-1111. Thank you to Harrell and Harrell for sponsoring it. Let's get underway, Frank. The Hunt came out last night. One of the best Jaguar productions that I think we've ever seen, if not the best. Have you had a chance to watch it? Do you have a review for us?
Watched every bit of it. It's fantastic. Those guys, I tell PCAV and David, those guys, I'm a broken record, and people are tired of hearing me say it. It's amazing how good they are. The staff they've put, it's a bunch of young folks that really get it and look in, and they're a visionary of sorts, and it was really good. You've watched it, right?
I have.
It was really good. The inside, and again, Patrick said something really interesting in one of his tweets today. He said, credit goes to Trent Baalke and Doug Peterson for allowing the access. Without the access, there's none of that. So good on those guys. I mean that too. That was a really good point. But it was the editing, hearing from the scouts, seeing the reaction from players, from front office when they had a player, when they didn't get a player, how they felt about them, everything from the combine to all of it. I thought it was spectacular. I mean, I'll tell you this. If you really want to understand how it worked, by the way, I learned a bunch, didn't you?
Yeah, it was great.
It's not like I'm into sports. I knew all this. I didn't know a lot of that stuff. And so if you really want to understand what really happens behind the scenes, preparing for the draft, going to the combine, working people out, drafting them, who to draft, who not to, you got to watch The Hunt, man. It really takes you behind it's as good a behind the scenes with that phrase that I've ever seen. It really is.
And again, if you're a Jaguar fan, you're going to love this. It's 40 minutes, to your point, Frank, takes you to several different locations, combine. It talks a little bit about free agency, pro days, the value of those, and then it takes you all the way through draft weekend. So, there were a lot of good nuggets, but I would definitely, if you're a Jaguars fan, you need to find this. Yeah. And I watched it on YouTube. I'm not sure. I'm sure you can find it on a number of different outlets, but again, 40 minutes, it's worth your time, certainly if you're a diehard Jaguars fan. Frank, Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley participating at Eagles OTAs, and it got me thinking, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Slim Reaper, Goddard, are you a believer in Philadelphia? Because they struggled down the stretch, but they're kind of like the Jaguars to me. Like, I'm not sure that the Eagles can't win that division and make a deep run with that talent.
They were 10-1. I mean, a team that wins 10 of 11 games at any point, I say the same thing about the Jags being 8-3. Team that wins 10 of 11, no, I think they're very good. I think he's a good coach. I think Jalen Hurts, Hayes, is a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. I don't think he's ever going to be great, but I don't think he's game manager guy either. I think they have a person. That team has an identity. I was going to say personality. That team's got an identity. Yes, I think they're right in it. I never know what to think of Dallas. I really don't. I think the Eagles are right, and I really do.
Roger Goodell talked today and mentioned the 18-game regular season. It doesn't seem like it's coming next season, but it certainly seems close.
Yeah, he made it. By the way, he's right. Nobody likes the preseason games anymore. They want games that count. They've gone from 16-4 to 17-3. We all know 18-2 is coming. There's nobody that doesn't know it's coming. My read on this, Hays, is he's got to continue to sort of talk respectfully. You have to continue to hammer it because the challenge is the union. There's not one fan. If you went to a fan and said, hey, fan guy, would it be okay with you if we played one more game that counted and one less game where we play guys you've never heard of? Fan guy's never going to say no. Sponsor guy's never going to say no. A coach is never going to say no because a coach wants to see his good guys play. The only resistance to this will ever be the union, and if you pay them more because you get paid per game, I think they're on board too. But I think that's kind of why that's the challenge. The challenge will be the union. But remember, going from 12 to 14 to 16, then stayed at 16 forever, now 17. That's all. Football's a physical game, man. And it's already a long season. That will be his challenge.
Pittsburgh is going to host the 2026 draft, the league announced today. Green Bay is up this coming year in 2025. Frank, it's been 10 years since the draft was held at Radio City Music Hall.
I'm going to one of the notes I'm going to talk about in the second hour is more about the whole Pittsburgh thing. Here's why I was elated to see that. Because there's a lot in my mind, and listen, nobody's been to both those cities more than I have. There's a lot of similarities to what Pittsburgh became on the river and what Jacksonville will be on the river. I really, of all the comparisons they try to draw, how do you use your river, the makeup of the city, the blue collar makeup of the city, the way they appreciate their team, the comparison between Pittsburgh. You've been to Pittsburgh downtown a bunch of times.
Yep.
Jacksonville's downtown could be what Pittsburgh's is, and it's a good downtown. So when I saw that, you kind of heard. I was reading on the Pittsburgh paper, so you kind of knew it was coming. Once I saw it was official, and it's in 26, my first thought was, okay, 28, 29, 30, how about right here? Because that was what I took. I think it's great that Pittsburgh has it. They'll do great. They'll turn out a bunch of people. They have big sports fans there. But I think what I took from that is when Jacksonville gets everything built, mark my words, they're going to have it, and they'll be perfect for it.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I would agree with you. That year guesstimate, I think, lines up well. Getting it to the NBA, the Pacers push the Celtics to overtime but lose. Frank, does this give you more confidence that we may see a competitive series?
It does. One fear is, and JJ made this point earlier, and it's a good one, that might have been their one chance. And I get it. The one chance to steal the series now that they lost the one chance they had, it could be 5, because that's what I said it would be beforehand. But they played them. If you watch the game, they were nose to nose with them, man. Forget what the record was during the regular season. The Pacers have proven they're not the team they were in the regular season. They're way better. We don't know when Porzingis is coming back. I think it's a series. I do.
Game 1 tonight in the Western Conference Finals, Dallas at Minnesota. Who is going to take the opener?
JJ, I'm with you. I think Minnesota's going to win the series. I'm not sure who wins tonight, but I think Minnesota 6 games or so. You still feel that way?
I said Minnesota's the favorite. I actually think Dallas will win. I'm going with Dallas.
All right. How about that? Bold pick. The NBA looks like they're getting very close to a $7 billion deal to move their rights to ESPN, NBC, and Amazon. That could mean that this coming season will be the last for Inside the NBA on TNT with the great cast of Barkley, Shaq, Kenny, Ernie Johnson. So it looks like they're going to get one more year, but that's probably going to be it.
The worst part of them not having that is Chuck and Kenny and Shaq and Ernie. There's nothing like it. From the racing, from all of it. And it really does make me wonder what happens with Barkley. That to me, with all due respect to all of them, and Ernie Johnson just earned yet another well-received sports Emmy. He is such a good person. He's such a good host. But it does make me wonder, what now happens to Charles? Shaq will be Shaq. He'll be in 8,000 commercials, and he'll be fine, and he'll be in a movie or whatever. If Kenny fades, he fades. He's kind of a bit player there. What happens with Barkley? That to me is what I take out of the story. What happens?
It's going to be that's the main eventer for sure. It'll be really interesting to see what happens with Barkley moving forward, and you got to think he's going to have unbelievable offers. Getting it to college football, college sports, the Big 12 and the ACC have now voted to settle the House versus NCAA antitrust case, and as well as the others relating to the antitrust. The other leagues are expected to vote later this week. The expectation is it will pass, and this will form the new financial model for college sports.
Yeah, the significance of that is 2 leagues have passed it. The significance of that, Hayes, is there will be rules. You need rules. Even if people then will break rules, which, by the way, they will, this has been a sport. It's been college football's always been the wild, wild west to a point, but it's been a wilder west than ever of late. And yes, I think that is very good news. I do.
Gators baseball one and done in the SEC tournament, losing yesterday to Vanderbilt. Frank, should they be in the NCAA tournament?
It's hard for me, as much as I love my Gators and gutted out every one of those games last year, right to the last out against LSU in the championship series, the NCAA, not the SEC. It's hard for me to justify a 28 and 27 team in. If they're in, I'll say fine. They played a great schedule. They beat a lot of good teams. You're allowed one down year. They're clearly one of the best 64. We all know that. But it's hard for me to justify it. Let's put it this way: they don't have much of an argument if they don't get in. You're never gonna. A lot of teams that don't get in have an argument. You won't convince me they've got much of an argument.
Greg Olsen got bumped from the booth, but Frankie does have an Emmy.
Yeah, he has an Emmy, and you know what's cool? When he was first interviewed, he's really good, by the way. He'll land somewhere pretty quick, even if it's on their number 2 team. Hayes, when he was first asked about it, he said, listen, I worked really hard at this. I'm proud of it. If Brady comes along, so be it. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. It sounded like there was some animosity. But lately you've read that Brady went to him for advice, and he gave it to him. That they actually have kind of bonded over that. So good. Greg Olsen's really good, and he's going to he'll be an analyst on Football Games somewhere, just a matter where.
NASCAR has fined Ricky Stenhouse Jr. a record $75,000 for fighting. Frank, it's NASCAR. You can't fine a guy for fighting.
No, you can find the guy that didn't fight.
Right.
That's who gets the fine.
Shouldn't Kyle Busch get the fine?
Yes. And by the way, I promise you right now, Ricky Stenhouse, wherever he is, I can't tell you what he's doing. He's got a cigar.
Please do.
Okay. He's got a Pabst Blue Ribbon in the can, and you know what he's got a little smirk on his face right now. And you know what the 2 words he's saying right now? Worth it. That's what he's saying.
No doubt about it. Yeah. Happy birthday to former big league pitcher Tommy John. The 4-time All-Star turns 81 today. Tommy John was 46 when he pitched his final game in the show in 1989. He logged 4,710 1/3 innings in his career, winning 288 games. But John's impressive career is overshadowed by the elbow surgery he underwent on September 25th, 1974 to repair his UCL, which is now commonly referred to as Tommy John surgery.
That's what he'll always be known for. He's the guy that first had the Tommy John. It's pretty cool that it kept his name the whole time.
It's incredible. Happy birthday. Turns
He's
81
as popular
today.
now as ever.
Yeah, he really is.
All right, JJ, fire it up. On this date in 1985, A View to a Kill was released in theaters. It is the 14th Bond movie, the 7th and final performance by Roger Moore. The villain is played by Christopher Walken, with Grace Jones as his bodyguard Mayday. Tanya Roberts does a fantastic job as the Bond love interest, Frank.
Are you telling me on a Wednesday here on the First Coast, you're giving me Roger Moore, Tanya Roberts, Christopher Walken, and Simon Le Bon?
Yeah.
Am I getting them all?
Yeah.
I mean, like all together? You talk about a fearsome foursome.
It's unbelievable.
A Fab Four.
The film might be most well known for its theme song by Duran Duran. Simon Le Bon, obviously the front man. Duran Duran's A View to a Kill, the only Bond theme that ever went to #1 on the Billboard chart.
How about that? I did not know that. What I did know is I got distracted because I've now thought of nothing but Tanya Roberts. Great job.
Thank you, sir.
We'll take a break. When we come back, I want to talk about Jaden Rashada. I got a thought or two about that. A little hardball as well. We got an hour to go. It's 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with The Frangie Show. From the Harold and Harold studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
I suppose the most obvious question is,
What is this? I believe it is our fate to be here. It is our destiny. It is
1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
This is Hays Carlyon for QC Kinetics. The state of healthcare, it's always changing, and old ideas like steroids and surgery, they may no longer be your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative, non-surgical, drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain. Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life this summer. Give my friends at QC Kinetics a call at 904-274-5522 for a free consultation. They have 2 great locations in town, one in Mandarin and one in Ponte Vedra. Again, 274-5522. Hips, shoulders, elbows, they can all be treated with natural biologics from your own body. Powerful healing agents that are highly concentrated. Their advanced protocols have enabled tens of thousands of patients to reclaim their mobility. Stop putting it off. Take action now and live your best life again. Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522 for a free consultation. 2 great locations, one in Mandarin, one in Ponte Vedra. That's QC Kinetics.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Come in, Linda. Over.
We've got a sea of new vehicles and they're priced so low they're rocking the boat. Come check out our biggest selection of inventory with the best prices and our wow-ya experience that will ensure smooth sailing for your next car purchase. Plus, take advantage of our peace of mind warranties, transparent pricing, and free oil changes with every purchase. You better beat the surge and head to Beaver Toyota St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville for the best car buying experience.
All right, get those boats ready. The Dailies Old School Kingfish Shootout presented by Yellowfin is coming soon to St. Augustine. It's June 8th. Just go to oldschoolkingfish.com. You can find out more. The grand prize is a Yellowfin bay boat. And with limited boundaries, no bait buying, and no checkout, it is seriously old school. That's why it's the Old School Kingfish Shootout. Here's how you do it. You go online, you sign up, and you become part of what is going to a terrific event. It's the Old School Kingfish Shootout. Go to oldschoolkingfish.com.
I'm Holt Harrell with Harrell & Harrell. Choosing a law firm after an accident is an important decision. So how do you decide? With so many messages on air, I know it can all sound the same. At Harrell & Harrell, we believe what sets us apart is our commitment to you. When you've been injured in an accident, you need help from someone you know. Someone you can trust. Harrell & Harrell, a name you know, a name you trust. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Offices, Jacksonville.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Is your old AC trying to keep up with the Florida heat?
At JTM Comfort Services, they understand the importance of a reliable AC system. That's why they offer financing on qualified repairs and replacements. Don't suffer through another scorching summer. Upgrade now to a new, energy-efficient system. Visit jtmcooling.com to learn more and schedule your consultation. Veteran and family owned.
Your comfort is our name. Call my dad to keep you in the game.
Guys, feeling deflated in the bedroom? ED, low T, no energy? If your stuff is broken, call 904-STROKEN or 904stroken.com. No shots in the first treatment, now free. Fix your ED at 904stroken.com.
Hey, David here with Royal Pest Services. Men, are you struggling in the bedroom? Do spiders and roaches have you scared? Visit RoyalPestServices.com and let us help you get that man card back. Guaranteed results on our first visit.
Calling all poker enthusiasts. Poker Atlas Tour is bringing 7 action-packed poker events to Best Bet St. Augustine, June 6th to 16th, including the $600 no-limit hold'em title event with a $200,000 guarantee. Plus, don't miss Event 1, a $300 no-limit hold'em tournament featuring a $100,000 guarantee. Satellites happening now at Best Bet St. Augustine. Visit bestbetjacks.com for tournament structures and all the details. That's bestbetjacks.com.
The 2024 season schedule is here, and so are single-game tickets. Don't miss your favorite matchups, and be at the bank when the Jaguars take on the biggest names in the NFL.
To the end zone, touchdown!
Don't miss a moment of the action during our exciting 30th season, and grab your single-game tickets today. Lock in seats for your favorite matchup now by going to Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000.
I'm RJ Saunders with your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. For 1010XL, well, depending on who you talk to, there were some that were skeptical about the Mason Smith selection by the Jaguars that early in the NFL draft. However, there are a few that like the pick in that spot for Jacksonville. How much did Ryan Nielsen's relationships with former LSU coach Ed Orgeron and now Jags staffer Matt House have to do with Smith being taken by the squad? The defensive coordinator explained to the media.
Sure, there's some phone calls being made to those guys for sure. Look, everything that they said was exactly who these guys are in terms of character, type of people that they are. They love football, really good guys, practice hard. I mean, they're out there going as hard as they possibly can. We're excited about them. So the future is bright for those guys.
Sound courtesy of Jaguars.com. Currently 85 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller. The Frangie Show continues on 1010XL.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Ricketts Electric Wednesday on The Frangie Show. Ricketts Electric, the power connection you can trust.
I'm devastated.
Oh, no.
Kobayashi is retiring.
Really?
Do you know that? Do you know that, JJ?
The hot dog guy?
JJ, do you know that?
I didn't, but I know that.
He hasn't been the same for a while, right?
Yeah.
Well, he hasn't been allowed. I mean, he hasn't been since, like, the second or third year of Joey Chestnut's reign.
Does he juice or something?
No. So this was the controversy. The hot dog eating contest started to be ran by like the World Eating League or whatever the hell it's called. And since Kobayashi was already like famous in Japan and doing his own eating thing, he was like, I'm not joining that league of yours. And they're like, well, then you're not competing in the hot dog contest.
It's good that you're talking because it's allowed Frank some time to compose.
Well, I mean, my question is, y'all can talk
now
about these details all you want. My question is, how am I supposed to go on? That's I mean, all that stuff's good and all of it. No more Kobayashi. No more.
After the show, we'll all go get a beer.
I hope so.
And a hot dog. Or
well
45.
Because I did not know this. That he and Chestnut have not gone toe-to-toe recently? I did not know this.
Yeah, for like a decade plus.
So I missed out on 10 years.
Yeah, right.
I'm 10 years behind the story, you're telling me.
I had no idea it was because of regulation.
Yeah, well, politics, bro, always. So the first year that he wasn't allowed in the competition, he like staged his own hot dog eating contest that was going on directly across the street, I think, from the real one.
Like
at
Pete
the
Rose.
Exact same time, like how he signs autographs, yes.
Like when Pete Rose sets up right across from the All-Star game, it's some little dive bar and signs his autographs. That is perfect. JJ, you're a real skinny guy and you run 8 miles
I'm like
an
a
hour.
skinny fat guy. I
Do you
still eat like crazy.
Are you a big eater? Can you
late at night?
Like, could you compete in an eating contest of any kind? Would you?
Well,
we
did there was like a meme going around about 2 years ago of like a bunch of McDonald's on this tray, and they're like, could you finish this in an hour?
I remember that.
And so we tried it on XL Primetime. I failed miserably.
Yeah.
But I still feel on a good day I could have done it without the sodas maybe, but I think I'm a better eater than I actually am.
Yeah, what yeah, I get it.
My eyes are bigger than my stomach. Have you ever heard that one?
I have. Hays, could you eat 2 Whoppers?
I think you know the answer to that question.
2 Whoppers?
Yes,
You could eat 2 Whoppers?
Yes.
Okay, 2.5 Whoppers?
I mean, I'd say this, like when it comes to like pizza.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Yeah, same.
Everybody's got their own specialty.
Yeah. I have a.
I've got an extra pizza stomach somewhere in here.
Have you ever eaten a large pizza by yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Plenty of times?
Yeah.
Like
I went to college.
Well,
yeah.
Good point. Large pizza by yourself, no problem, JJ, for you?
Oh, dude.
Okay.
At least.
Okay. At least a large pizza. Okay. There you go. Yeah, I have a.
It's been a while since I ate a pizza to myself, but I definitely could.
I mean, I've eaten. It's probably not been that long ago that I've eaten a large pizza. I mean, that's not something I didn't know if everyone just commonly said, "Yeah, I've done that." So I don't really advertise that because you're a pig guy then.
Right.
But yeah, and it's been 7-8 years. But I mean, I've.
You know what I did the other night? That's a total pig move.
Right.
2 bowls of cereal.
You went back.
Whoa.
Yeah. What were they?
It was they unfortunately they weren't like the ones that we all love. It was like
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
It wasn't that. It was
that's
like,
got 12 million calories per bite.
It was like Honey Bunches of Oats, which was still delicious.
Okay.
Now, did you refill
Life
milk?
cereal?
Oh,
I
you
did.
got 2 separate kinds of cereal.
2 separate kinds, but it was on top of each. So literally, like I finished the bowl of the Honey Oats one.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I'm totally not done here. And went back in, got the Life cereal out, and had a bowl with fresh milk.
I'm about to say, but that's a big question.
Yeah.
When you got the leftover milk,
there was nothing in the bowl when I finished.
So you
and then I got the second bowl, and there was nothing left in the second bowl.
So what you're telling me is you picked up the bowl and drank the extra milk,
because that's
and
like
then reloaded.
Nectar of the gods.
Now that's a good reload.
Yeah,
that's a good reload.
Is there anything
if you drink
better
the milk
than the
and
milk at that?
Oh, it's fantastic.
It was fantastic.
It's sweet milk.
That's why I had to have a second bowl.
What other time in your life do you have sweet milk?
Yeah.
You have sweet milk.
Yeah.
So you did cereal, finished off the sweet milk.
Correct.
Went back in with the cereal. And then finished off the sweet milk again.
And felt great
You are
about
freaking a star in the world.
Yeah.
You know what? You are a great American.
Yeah.
That is one great American is what you are. Well done.
It's good for the economy. Thanks for that.
So Jaden Rashada, I'm trying to get my head around, not the lawsuit and all that. And I disagree with both you and Brett. I think we're going to see more of these. I don't think y'all both think it's a one-off, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think.
Well, I don't think I don't agree. I think you could see more of it in terms of the complaints.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever going to get through like a jury. I think it'll get settled, and therefore, it's going to be hard for anybody to really know or cite it as precedent for But to your, I do think you're going to see more players that are going to be disappointed with how their college career is going and say, well, why don't I just file a lawsuit against Lincoln Riley because he promised I'd get money to go to USC.
Yeah. So my point here is on all this. My gut tells me he's not very good. I remember seeing him a little bit. He was either at Florida or in a workout or something. I guess he never really went to Florida. Maybe worked out. Somehow I saw him throwing in Gainesville or something.
What was interesting is the final the summer before his senior year, you started to hear whispers that he wasn't as good a prospect as he had sort of been billed as. Now, who knows if that's, how it worked out, but his recruiting, it didn't affect his star level and the fan excitement for him, but you were hearing things like he may not be as good as people are sort of claiming he is. And then, and then obviously he didn't do much at Arizona State.
Well,
but
the fact is, with all due respect to my friend Pete Prisco, he landed at Arizona State. If you were this mega 5-star that everybody knows about, and the bottom fell, in Florida, Miami once, and the bottom fell out there, you don't land at Arizona State. Land at Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
You land.
But he's at Georgia now.
Yeah. Well, and that's where I'm going to go with this. Yet now he's at Georgia, so something doesn't make sense there, unless he's just way better than I realize. And maybe that's it. Kirby Smart doesn't go get bad players.
Yeah.
And so, is he better than Gunnar Stockton? Is he better than the kid that almost went to Georgia then landed at Nebraska, Damian Raiola or Dominic Raiola?
And Georgia has a freshman in this class at quarterback that they really like.
I just find myself thinking Jaden Rashada is not going to be good enough to play at Georgia ever. And I may be way off, and it's just an opinion. If I'm wrong, I'll tell you I was wrong. If he goes and plays and it's great. But those guys Georgia brings in, Brock Vandegrift and Gunnar Stockton and obviously Carson and whoever these – Raiola, if he had gone there, what tape he had, man. This is the premier football program in America. I'll even go far enough, with apologies to Ohio State, I say the premier football program in America with a gap after them. You say, well, Frank, they didn't make the playoff last year. No, I know, I was watching, but I'm just telling you.
But they should have, and they would have won it, had they.
That's the point. And Nick Saban's not there anymore, by the way.
That's the thing.
Clemson's
with Saban not being in Tuscaloosa anymore, Georgia is I'm totally with you. Clearly, the number one program in the country.
He's going to the best program in America, and I just don't see it now, if he's got some NIL money coming or already has some, I guess where I'm going with this, it wouldn't shock me if he's a walk-on. If there's more to the story than we know, I just don't see Kirby Smart, who could have anybody, who's a great coach, great recruiter, 2-time titleist, going to win some more titles, by the way, whether we like it or not. I can't see Kirby Smart saying, that's the guy I got to have. I just don't see it.
The only thing I can think of with it is that Kirby Smart, who's always 2 steps ahead of everybody, as we can tell by the results, is petrified about what is the position going to look like once Carson is gone. Once Carson Beck wins the Heisman this year and wins a national championship and is the first overall pick, what is going to be our answer there? And I could see him saying, let me take a chance on Jaden Rashada if he'll come, knowing that he's going to be a backup his first year here at a minimum. But let me take a chance. Let's get him in. He has a year in our program to develop, learn how we do things, and let's see if he can be an in-house option for 25 to replace Carson. Because when Carson leaves, I would imagine Georgia's looking at Stockton, the true freshman that they're excited about that just got to campus, so he'll be in his second year.
Right.
And then you have Rashada. Now, obviously, Georgia could go and get the best quarterback in the portal next year, whoever that ends up being, and maybe that solves the problem. But it feels like this is more of a long-term move by Kirby Smart of trying to protect himself against Carson Beck leaving and then having a really substandard answer there and having to scramble to replace that high-level quarterback play.
And that makes sense. But it still would be precipitated by Rashada just wanting somehow, some way to go there. Somehow, some way, I get the sense I
was shocked Georgia took him.
I just don't get the sense that,
he kind of had the one big game because there was a game early on in the season where for a weekend everybody was tweeting about, making fun of Florida basically for not getting him. Because I think his first game maybe he looked pretty good, but I think it went downhill pretty quickly after that for him, and then he got hurt. So, but he is young, and I would imagine Kirby Smart's, betting on in a year or two. I think he's going to be pretty good.
And maybe he's good, and I'm just wrong. Listen, I'm the brain surgeon that told people, Jordan. Again, everybody likes to remind you of the smart things they said. I remind people of the dumb things they said, maybe because there's so many of them. But I said one time, I'll stand by the fact I said this, and it's one of the dumbest things I ever said. I said, I don't think Florida State can ever be a big-time program with Jordan Travis as their quarterback. I think he's a wide receiver playing quarterback, and he was forced into action because they had nobody else. Well, that's the dumbest comment of all. That's in the dumb Hall of Fame. He turned out to be a fantastic college quarterback and might have won a national title if he hadn't gotten hurt. He was a fantastic Jordan Travis.
His improvement was
fantastic college quarterback. And so maybe I'm just that dumb, but my gut tells me that if he was really good, he wouldn't have landed at Arizona State. That my gut tells me that. So we'll see. You know what? See what winds up happening, and if he ever winds up playing at Georgia.
If he becomes a championship-winning quarterback for Georgia, it will just further cement Kirby Smart is. Yeah. Who is going to have any hope of knocking Georgia consistently off of its pedestal as long as he is there for the next 25 years.
Yeah. So we'll see what winds up happening. Fun college stuff, football stuff coming up. Did you get JJ? I was kind of running around because we had a lot of stuff on the air today. Did you say that TNT's getting college football package?
Sort of. ESPN is giving TNT the ability or the rights, however you want to word it, to show a select number of college football playoff games, and that's starting this season. So, not all the games will be on ESPN. Apparently, TNT will get some.
I figured ESPN would share it with the others in the Disney family. There'd be some ABCs. There'd be some ESPN. There might be a Deuce. I never realized they'd go out of the family.
That'd be more sharing. This is selling.
This is correct.
Well, no question. You're right. But, I guess my point was, regardless of how it's happening, I wouldn't have thought you would distribute it to a major competitor.
I agree.
it is interesting in that they talked about this when they initially did the deal, that you might see them sell off parts of it because it's such a gigantic package. And I would imagine that the money that they're getting per game from TNT is higher than what their per game is for having the total package. So, they're making some of their money back. And, it's obviously, if you're TNT, who doesn't want to have a piece of the college football playoff? So
I'm sure it's not the semifinals.
No, it's 2 first-round games.
Okay.
And but it is a 5-year deal.
I will tell you, in the radio world, because I know this from my years with Touchdown Radio with Gino's group, when you do a game, a national radio game, the home team, not the conference, the home school always controls the rights. So it in the Learfield, who now Learfield's everything. Remember, they bought out everybody. It used to be other companies. Now Learfield has all of them, it seems like. But they could control the rights, except for the ones that ESPN owned. And there were some that ESPN, like bowl games, ESPN owned a lot of bowl games. But ESPN, JJ, to your point, would then sell there's the radio rights now, not TV rights, national radio rights. ESPN would turn around and sell national radio rights to Compass, to Touchdown Radio, which was us, to Sports USA. So even though ESPN had the rights, they would sell them off and make a little money on the deal and then not have to staff the game. So I guess it's kind of similar to that.
Yeah, I think so. And again, it's something that I think you're going to start seeing it with pretty much anything. I mean, these TV rights deals are getting so massive that it's you want to secure it, but once you've invested these billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars into it, then it becomes, well, can we sell off a little portion of this to get some money back on our side? And so I think you'll continue to see it, and as these deals in various leagues continue to happen.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, you want a little hardball talk?
Absolutely.
I got a little hardball plan for you. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
For Military Appreciation Month, the folks at Nimnick Chevrolet pause to honor and express their deepest gratitude to the brave service members and their families who sacrifice so much for this country. I'm Frank Frangie, and I can tell you the unwavering dedication of the military and the sacrifice inspire us every day. Now, as a token of their appreciation at Nimnick, they're extending a special offer, $1,000 total cash allowance to all military personnel and their families on select new vehicles. It's a small gesture compared to the immense gratitude they hold for your service, and they thank you for everything you do. There's never a bad time to go to Nimnick Chevrolet. Never a bad time. And every season is Chevy truck season at Nimnick, and there's no better time to do what you do best in a Chevy Silverado. So for Military Appreciation Month, go see the good folks at Nimnick Chevrolet at Cassidy Park. That's Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941.
The action. The motion.
You see that acceleration.
Feel the active emotion of live play-by-play.
It's amazing how much energy.
On 1010XL.
Hey, it's Matt Hays, and you know you've heard this before. Why is it so hot in this house? Well, summer's already here on the First Coast, and those soaring temperatures can do a number on our ACs. This is where the good folks at Fenwick Home Services have you covered. Fenwick offers same-day 24/7 service, and if you need a new AC because yours is on its last leg or already broken, Fenwick has next-day installation. That's right, next day, and can keep your family cool and comfortable all year long. Book online now at FenwickHomeservices.com. That's FenwickHomeservices.com, and stay cool and comfortable all year long.
It's the perfect day. You're just driving along, listening to your favorite music, the window's down. There's a cool breeze. Life is good. But wait, hold on a second. You're not wearing a seatbelt? You'd better put that on before that... Uh-oh, too late. Cops everywhere are stepping up enforcement, so you'd better buckle up or you will get caught. Sorry to ruin your day. Click it or ticket.
Funded by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. Look, I depend on South State for so many things: personal accounts, small business banking, and banking for our nonprofit. South State Bank can help you reach all your financial goals too, whether you're just starting out or focused on financial planning. South State offers convenience with their online and mobile banking. You should check out South State Bank, as they were recently recognized by Forbes as one of America's best banks. That's South State, banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
International soccer returns this summer. Don't miss your chance to see teams from the biggest league in the world in Jacksonville as they compete for the Stateside Cup. Be there when Premier League clubs Wolves and West Ham take to pitch July 27th at Everbank Stadium, home of the Jaguars. With the series trophy on the line, competition will be fierce. Tickets on sale now for as low as $35 at StatesideCup.com.
Fish are good at hiding. Captain Kevin can help you find them.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Find more fish on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show.
Thursday nights at 6.
Brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss on 1010XL AM.
We've all seen great overtime games and thrilling finishes, but when it comes to having a big time, knowing when to say when is key. Budweiser reminds you to win the day and night by designating a driver. That's a victory every time.
This is Dr. George Bari inviting you to look online at BariOrthopedics.com for the latest in medical advancements when it comes to getting you back to full joint health. After studying under Dr. James Andrews, I know proper diagnosis is the first key to treatment, and educating the patient is the fastest path to recovery. Whether it's chronic back pain, nagging arthritis, or necessary joint replacement, we're here to serve you in the best possible way. We are Bari Orthopedics and online at BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
Get grilling this Memorial Day weekend with Southern Steer. How about marinated steak tips, 5 pounds or more at just $16.99 a pound? Specials listed online run this week from Wednesday to Monday.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Hey, sports fans, this is Hays Carlyon from MyBookie. The NBA playoffs are heating up, and it's the perfect time to elevate your game with MyBookie. With MyBookie, you can bet from anywhere, anytime, so you never miss a shot to cash in on a play. You can even live stream and bet on the games right from the sportsbook, giving you everything you'll need to decide, cash out or let it ride. MyBookie really makes it easy to get paid with tons of boosted props and slam dunk parlays, and new boosts are now posted on the daily. It's more than just a sports book. Buzzer beaters, underdog upsets, and a community to share in all of the sweats. Give yourself a head start today and play with house money using promo code 1010XL when you make your first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to claim a limited time bonus when you sign up and make your first deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie. And don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Doors, please. Time now for the Sky Life Elite Take Flight Moment of the Week. Sky Life Elite, North Florida's premier private air charter.
Tatum trying to get free. Throwing in the corner. Brown fakes, fires up the three. Bang! Bang! Jaylen Brown knocks down the three to tie the game.
Jaylen Brown rescues Boston, sends it to overtime. The Celtics end up taking game one, that three-pointer, with 5.7 seconds left. A phenomenal shot and a very worthy take flight moment of the week presented by our friends from Sky Life Elite. If you're tired of canceled flights, unruly passengers, and layovers, you need to call Sky Life Elite and consider using private charter flights for your next adventure. Give them a call, 490-9332. You can also find them at flyskylife.com.
Got a double bang, by the way.
Double bang.
I mean, when Mike Breen goes double bang, it's a big shot.
That's right.
I think it's only his 8th one ever.
Is that what I saw?
But I feel like it was...
He just did one like a week or two ago.
Yeah, it was like he thought about it and was like, this is worthy of a double bang, I guess. Listen again.
Tatum trying to get free. Throwing in the corner. Brown fakes, fires up the three. Bang!
I guess.
I thought that the Celtics were in deep trouble, so I think it was worth it.
Yeah.
I will tell you, JJ, I will tell you this. when you're in the moment, you don't realize how many times you say it. I've said caught 3 times in a row, touchdown 3 times in a row, and didn't realize I had. You know, someone will text me, "Wow, three caughts or 3 touchdowns," and I'll go back and listen. You know, they'll play the highlights. So you don't. I mean, just honestly, you don't know at the moment.
You blacked out.
Yeah, you kind of do.
Yeah,
you kind of, which is kind of cool, by the way. It's
right. I mean, the moment is so huge, and I like it when stuff like that happens.
Yeah, so I got a little hardball talk for you. I don't know that Reggie's going to leave the yard 3 times off. Can you name them?
Who?
When Reggie hit the 3 home runs off the Yankees, can you name them?
I can't. I can't.
Charlie Huff, Bob Welch.
Wow.
I don't know the other one.
Well, it's at least 2 guys that have. Charlie Huff played for, I think, 60 years in the Bigs.
Right.
And Welch won, 31 games one year for the A's?
I don't think he won 31. But he won.
I thought Bob Welch one year had, like, this just stupid year win-loss-wise.
Might have. But Yankees-Dodgers, you could have it. 50 games in, I try to take a little peek. Because 50 games, that's about a third, you know. It's been a long time since the Yankees have been elite. But baseball's better, JJ, when the Yankees are elite. Whether you hate them or not. The fact that there's not many baseball teams that people go around hating. There just aren't, for whatever reason. Unless you may hate your rival. You know what I mean?
Divisional rival.
Right. But there's not many teams that people hate. The Yankees are good.
Yeah.
I mean, the Yankees are legitimately good. Now, do you hate that? Do you hate that they're good, or do you like it? See, I don't care about the Yankees. So you want them to be lousy all the time?
Yes, I like it when the Yankees are miserable. By the way, Welch won 27 games.
Yeah, he had a big year. I knew he had a big year. Yeah.
I would like the Yankees to lose 100 games, but that's not going to happen.
So why is that? Just because they're the Yankees?
Because when I really was a diehard Braves fan, I'm still not over being up 2-0 in the World Series and then seeing the Yankees win the next 4 games.
The Labor year?
Yeah. So that, and I've just it's the whole evil empire.
Yeah, right. They're a good team. They're the fun team to hate.
Yeah,
I mean, but getting Juan Soto, Juan Soto's a really good player, but he was with the Nationals and won a title, but he was a kid. Then the San Diego thing never seemed to fit. He's a really good player. I mean, Juan Soto. JJ, where's Juan Soto on the best player list? Top 10, right, at the very least?
Yeah, for me, it absolutely has been for a while. He doesn't have, like, crazy gaudy numbers all the time because he takes a lot of walks. Yeah, he's like a very, very patient batter. He celebrates walks, which bothers me. He, like, grabs himself and stares down the pitcher after a walk in, like, the 3rd inning of a regular season game. But, hey, whatever, to each his own. Yeah, they don't have Garrett Cole back either. Yeah. So, like, just wait until the best pitcher in baseball comes back.
Right now, Juan Soto, 11 home runs. He's knocked in 37 runs. He's hitting 309 in an era when nobody hits for average anymore. He's hitting 309. I mean, let me put that in perspective for you, okay? Aaron Judge has 13 home runs and 32 RBIs, similar numbers. He's hitting 267. Juan Soto's hitting 309. To go with the 11 and the 37, I just think it's better when they're good. There's something about the Yankees that for me trumps the Lakers, Celtics, Steelers, Cowboys.
Oh, there's no doubt about
Dodgers.
that.
It trumps all of it.
Oh, their brand is. You can't argue that. Their brand is bigger than anything in American sports.
Yeah, I mean it just trumps all of it. It really does.
There's not a casual sports fan in this country that if you ask them how they feel about the Yankees, it's like, I've never really thought about that. I don't know. They're sort of. I mean, you either like the Yankees, love the Yankees, or you detest the Yankees.
Yeah. I mean, and they realistically.
Except you were a Yankees fan for 3 weeks.
I was. That was
several
fantastic.
years ago.
We bought the hat. The hat was fantastic.
I
actually borrowed the hat, but I borrowed the hat. It was fantastic.
By the way, in terms of Juan Soto hitting over 300, I always find this fascinating because it's just so much different than when I followed baseball passionately when I was a kid. There are only 15 players right now hitting over 300.
Think about that. There's 30 teams. Every team has 12 or 13 position players, okay? So that's 400 players. 400 players in Major League Baseball that are position players, give or take. How many?
15.
15 are hitting. Give me. Who are they?
Ohtani leads the bigs at 356.
How good's he?
He's good. They're even. Did you see this? They're talking about. ESPN wrote an interesting article the other day, advocating that he shouldn't ever pitch again. That he should just become. That he's such a great hitter.
Right. They were saying the exact opposite like a year and a half ago, though.
Yeah,
they were saying he needs to give up hitting because he's such an elite pitcher. Like, no, the greatness about Ohtani is that we get both.
Yeah,
I hate that crap.
Yeah,
I was surprised too. Because
I'm a big believer in guys doing both.
Right.
But would not surprise me if he doesn't pitch though. It would not surprise me.
They were sort of comparing it to like
he was like a Cy Young candidate.
Well, that's the thing. Like they were comparing him to Babe Ruth when he made the decision to just hit. But Ohtani's a much better pitcher. Than Babe Ruth was.
Well, Babe Ruth was really good, but he wasn't one of the best in baseball.
Right.
Ohtani's one of the best in baseball. What I would not surprise me to see them do, and you see it in college a lot, would not surprise me if Ohtani becomes a closer. So you're not throwing as much.
Can you imagine?
Maybe like 2 or 3 innings.
Yeah. I mean, I would not.
He hits
or an inning.
He hits a grand slam in the top of the ninth, and then to take the lead, and then comes in the ninth and saves it.
Yeah, I mean in college they do that. It's a lot of times college your best player is also your closer. I mean, and over the years. So, but the Yankees are very good. There's 7 teams right now that have lost in the teens. There's 7 teams that have lost fewer than 20 games of the 30. The Dodgers are 33-18. The Yankees are 33-17. They're the only 2 teams that have won 33 games. The Guardians, I take it back. The Phillies are the best team.
They've won 35.
They've won 30. Sorry, I missed that. The Phillies are 35-14. The Dodgers 33-18, Yankees 33-17. The Guardians are 32-17. JJ, what's up with that?
I got nothing on them. Yeah. I mean, they have pitched very well. I know that their bullpen and I feel like their ERA as a team overall is like the best in the bigs, if not, or one of them. But yeah, they have like a bunch of random guys. You know who Jose Ramirez is, of course.
Of course.
The Naylor brothers. Yeah. They have a big first baseman, Josh Naylor, who's very fun. Right. But yeah, they're nobody you're gonna write home about. That's for sure.
How's Jake Taylor behind the plate for Cleveland?
Well,
is he having a good
year?
Yeah.
His frame. He's a great framer.
Yeah. And by the way, speaking of things you don't know, the Kansas City Royals are 32-19.
Yeah.
The Kansas City Royals. The Royals are terrible forever. Then they won a World Series. 7-8 years ago, and then they've been terrible ever since. But I mean, the Kansas City Royals are 32-19 now. They've had Salvador Perez for 100 years. He's been there, and he's really good. I mean, he's a really good player. But obviously they gave all the money to Bobby Witt Jr., who's a fantastic. He's one of the 300 guys. He's
at
308, and he's got already knocked in 33 runs. But
they've played a lot of home games. They've played 29 at home and only 22 on the road. So.
Yeah.
But they've taken advantage of it.
But that helps. So the 5 teams in the 30-win club: Phillies, Yankees, Dodgers, Guardians, Royals. That's the 5 best records in baseball. The next 2, the other 2 teams in the teens loss club, there are only 2. Orioles at 29-17, Braves at 27-18. What about the Braves, JJ?
Oh, they suck right now.
Are they going to be okay?
I mean,
they coming out of this or no?
Yeah, I think they'll probably. I know they'll make the wild card. Let's be real. They're good enough to make the wild card. They're not good enough to win the division. They are struggling to hit right now, specifically like the stars of last season. You know, like Ronald Acuna, the MVP, is one of the worst batters in baseball, I feel like right now. They're just throwing fastballs right by him. I don't know what's wrong with him,
really
but
wild.
It's crazy how bad he's fallen off. Matt Olson's sort of coming back a little bit. But, man, this guy hit like 60 homers.
I know.
You know, or like not 60, but
he hit a bunch of homers.
Yeah, he hit a ton of homers last year. Now he's got like 4.
Yeah.
They'll win 24 games in June.
I hope. The only guy that's really hitting well for them right now is Ozuna. Austin Riley's not even in the lineup. He's hurt. So, yeah, the Braves are going through a rough patch, but it happens in a long season. I still don't think they're good enough to come back and win the division. They're already 6 games back.
I'm watching baseball last night, Hays. And Pirates are down 6. I got to be honest admission.
Crazy win.
It was, I saw on the lead at the bottom.
You know, I did?
That they rallied.
Turned it off.
I turned it off. I never do. I never turned it off. I just was tired. I was grumpy.
Yeah.
It was 6. I never turned it off. 6-2.
It's funny. I almost even texted you because I was watching the basketball game, but they'll do like the lead story at the bottom scroll, and the lead was Pirates mount huge comeback, and
I literally turned it off. I believe it. I was watching JU baseball on ESPN Plus. A lot of my buddies are over there, and they won, and so I turned the TV off. Turned the TV in our family room. I was going to go into bed and watch TV with Suzanne. She was watching something, and turned the TV off. And of course, I recorded the game, so it's all recorded because I have no life. And so turned the TV off. Picked up my phone because I have no life. I never put my phone down. Okay, so there's a lot of components to no life. Okay, walking through the kitchen, our house. I'm walking through the kitchen. I look up, Pirates walk it off. Do a Yui. You got to do the Yui, don't you?
Yeah.
Go back in the family room, turn it back on, and watch the last 2 innings. Okay,
how about
that's
that?
what it is. But here's something that's funny.
So what was the celebration like?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Good celebration. So O'Neill Cruz, shortstop, this great phenom, drops a pop-up early in the game, cost him 2 runs. He gets this, JJ. He hits a double in like the 6th inning. They have all the metrics now. 120.1 off the bat.
It's like the hardest hit ball ever.
Hardest hit ball in the major leagues this year in the StatCast era. It's the hardest one. Okay. 2 innings later, hits 121.
Wow.
So he's got the 2 hardest hit balls
this
season last night. And so
him and De La Cruz,
De La Cruz is more refined
for the Reds. I'm just saying they swing out of their shoes.
They do.
Man.
De La Cruz has also stolen like 30 bases. He's more refined.
Yeah,
player.
If you walk De La Cruz, it's basically a triple.
When does Skeens pitch again?
I think he's pitching Thursday.
He's awesome.
Did you see that ESPN did they updated the best prospects in the game, and he was number 1?
Was he? Yeah.
How can he not be?
And Jackson Holiday was second.
So Skeens pitches tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, it's tomorrow. He's yes, it's Thursday. Yes, sorry. He pitches Thursday. He pitched Friday then Thursday. It is tomorrow. But and I will tell you, and that's just he's a Pirate guy. He might be the next it's ridiculous. He might be ridiculous.
It's unbelievable.
I mean,
I think he's gonna be doubt.
It might be even. I mean,
I only see it on Twitter. The highlights and stuff. But I mean,
life on that fastball.
It's so much fun to watch.
Yeah, so if that game's still on while we're here, I would ask you and JD to prepare the program.
Yeah.
Okay, and bring your A game.
We'll be ready.
Back in a moment to wrap the show. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold & Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update, brought to you by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
4 teams remaining in the Stanley Cup playoffs as conference finals getting underway. The Florida Panthers are the betting favorite to hoist the cup. The Panthers at plus 230. They played for the cup last year, losing to the Vegas Golden Knights. The Dallas Stars are plus 240. Dallas coming off a 6-game series with the Colorado Avalanche, while the Edmonton Oilers are plus 270. Edmonton trying to become the first Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup since the Montreal Canadiens did that in 1993. The New York Rangers, who last won the cup in 1994, are plus 380. This update brought to you by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1010 XL.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
Are you having constant issues with drains backing up? Have you wasted money on plumbers that can't resolve your problems? We're Duck Rooter, and we have the solution. We'll come out to your home or business, identify your problem, and make the repairs once and for all. From visual camera inspections, hydrojetting, line replacements, our team of pros will get the job done right. Call now to schedule service and relax. 904-862-6769. Financing is available. DuckRooter.com, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This is Hays Carlyon from my friend Holt at Harold & Harold.
There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident, and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harrell & Harrell make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harrell & Harrell and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
This is the sound of real people across Florida betting on sports. It's the sound of winning your bet, only on Hard Rock Bet. And if your first bet doesn't win, you get up to $100 back to try again. Hard Rock Bet is Florida's only legal sports book. Your home for betting hoops for any sport you choose. Download Hard Rock Bet now and get 2 shots at your first bet. Win, or you'll get up to $100 back as a bonus bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to play. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Hey, Glenn here with B&B Oil with Dylan from March Motor. Hey, Dylan, how does B&B Oil help you guys at the dealership?
If you have a dealership and don't want to worry about the hassle of credit cards or fuel vouchers floating around, have B&B Oil put a tank on your lot. It allows us to control who gets fuel and cuts out the worries of credit cards. And it helps us deliver the car faster. B&B Oil also meets our shop needs with lubricants as well. Call Glenn or check out the website, bb-oil.com.
I'm sure many of you guys feel like you wish you could be as fit as you were in your 20s. The dad bod is really tough to shed. I'm Dr. Lance Snyder, and I did something about it through Dr. Rappaport at the Jax Aesthetic Center. I'm active, I played college sports, and I still work out a few times a week. Nothing worked. As a doctor and a dad, I want to be around as long as possible and feel good about my body. Dr. Rappaport put together a personalized treatment plan that worked. It was easy for me to make appointments, get to those appointments, and get back to work in time. I also recommend the Emsella chair for any urinary issues or ED. Dr. Rappaport has state-of-the-art treatment options for men. And the M-Sculpt Neo is an abs blast. 20,000 crunches in 30 minutes. Give yourself your own gift this Father's Day at the Jax Aesthetic Center. Build muscle and lose fat. Call or text today, 904-808-2455. That's 904-808-2455. You won't be sorry.
Any action? Find more fish on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show.
That's a big redfish, guys.
With Captain Kevin Faber.
Oh, my gosh.
Brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Thursday nights at 6.
On 1010XL AM.
How can you reach your weight loss goals by the 4th? Simple. Make a Bacon 180 with Awaken 180. Bacon's on the table, burgers, lobsters, you name it. Don't sacrifice the summer avoiding what you love. Make a Bacon 180 at awaken180weightloss.com.
American Electrical is looking for bright minds and hard workers to help light up North Florida. This community continues to grow, and now you can grow your career with a company that will make sure you succeed through commitment. American Electrical even has its own academy dedicated to training select students in the electrical trade, and the best news, it's free of charge. Log on to american-electrical.com to find out more. They're leading the way in electrical contractors on the First Coast. american-electrical.com.
Sports fans, JJ LaSalva here. When I need to send my bride flowers or a plant for birthdays or anniversaries, I always go with Kuhn Flowers. After all, they've been the leading florist in these parts for over 75 years. You can always rely on Kuhn Flowers.
Hey, it's Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. If you're like me, you're getting crushed by rising costs of everything these days. I get it. It's brutal, and credit card rates are ridiculous and going higher. That's why at Loan Pronto, we launched our Express Equity Line of Credit to bring you the relief you and your family need, using your home, your most valuable asset. We've helped thousands of people like you get fast relief with cash. The average homeowner who does this gets tens of thousands in just days and is able to save $850 per month in overall expenses. I'm talking life-changing money. Your money that you have access to right now. Listen, if you're ready to get control of your finances and get off the hamster wheel, call Loan Pronto. You can get approved for Express Equity Line of Credit in just minutes, and we can get your cash in less than a week. Stop digging a deeper credit card hole today. Call Loan Pronto now. 904-999-1508. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com. 904-999-1508.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS consumeraccess.org.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Ricketts Electric Wednesday on The Frangie Show. Ricketts Electric, the power connection you can trust.
My buddy Zach Ricketts, such a good guy. 904-320-5960. I want to give you that number again, 904-320-5960. The best electrician in town. Talked to Zach today. He's helped us so much with our ballpark. He's helped me so much with our home. He's the best, man. Ricketts Electric, that's the name to know now. If you need an electrician, I'm going to say it again. You hear me say it all the time. Ricketts Electric, 904-320-5960. That is the number to call. Just about out of time tonight. Game number 2, T-Wolves tonight, JJ?
No, I'm taking Dallas.
Dallas tonight, okay. How about you?
I'm going to take the T-Wolves.
I
think they grew up a lot in that Game 7. So I'll say, but I think it'll be an outstanding game.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, it'll be. I can't wait for it. But I like the T-Wolves by 6.
By the way, JU baseball continues to win. Tomorrow you'll hear them on our AM stream. They play at 2:30 tomorrow. You won't hear them on the radio station because we've got our show and then we've got Jaguars Happy Hour. But you will hear the JU baseball game on our AM on our streaming site. So check them out there. We hope you'll do it. That'll do it for our program. Don't go anywhere, though. Rick Ballew's up next. He goes into the night. For Hays and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.